Alexander White was the definition of a cold and calculating CEO. He built his empire with sharp decisions and never let emotions cloud his judgment. Even in love, he kept his guard up, until he met Isabella, a beautiful woman who seemed to fill the void in his life. But his parents had seen through her charm, knowing her true nature as a gold digger, desperate for his wealth. Despite his feelings, his parents intervened. They arranged a marriage for him with Evelyn, a kind-hearted and gentle woman from a respected family. Alexander was furious at first, feeling betrayed and trapped. But after his wedding, his parents' joy and Evelyn's genuine love slowly melted his icy exterior. To please them, he agreed to start a family. When Evelyn announced her pregnancy, a flicker of warmth softened Alexander's usually distant demeanor. As Evelyn's belly grew, so did his affection for her. With each passing month, he found himself becoming less cold and more human. He began to care for her in small ways, bringing her comfort, asking about the baby, and even imagining a future where they could be a happy family. His heart, once made of stone, softened bit by bit, but just as Alexander began to fully embrace this new life, his past came knocking. One day, he received a call from Isabella. She sounded desperate, nostalgic, claiming she had changed. Against his better judgment, he went to her. The allure of his old life, the fire and passion he thought he missed, drew him in. He spent the night with her, lost in the haze of what once was. Meanwhile, back at home, Evelyn was enduring labor pains. She tried calling him, but each call went unanswered. Her voice grew weaker with each attempt, and soon, she was in the hospital, fighting for her life and the life of their unborn child. 2 days later, Alexander returned home, expecting nothing but the calmness of his new routine. But instead of a warm welcome, he was greeted with the cold reality of what his selfish actions had cost him. His parents, with tear-streaked faces, delivered the news: Evelyn and the baby were gone. Crushed by regret, Alexander's world crumbled. The weight of his decisions suffocated him as he realized the magnitude of his betrayal. His heart, once cold and hardened, now shattered under the weight of his guilt. He had ignored the woman who loved him unconditionally, the one who had carried his child, for a fleeting moment with someone who had never cared for him at all. In the silence of his empty home, surrounded by the memories of the life he could have had, Alexander knew that he had lost the only thing that truly mattered. No amount of wealth or power could ever bring Evelyn or their child back. The cold CEO, who had once prided himself on his heartlessness, was left with nothing but the crushing sorrow of his irreversible mistake. And from that day on, Alexander White lived not as a man of power but as a man haunted by the love he took for granted.